We'll go ahead and get started. It's straight up 10 o'clock. We want to be mindful of your time. Thank you guys for being here. This is our very first virtual statewide news conference. So bear with us. There may be a few glitches, but we promise we're going to do our best. My name is Kelly McAllister. I have the privilege of serving as Public Information Officer in the Western District. I'm based out of Jackson and Memphis. And I am so excited to get to introduce you to the newest member of the TBI. And I mean, no offense, Derek, but I think Zeus may be my new favorite office mate for sure. I mean, he's always excited to see me when I come into work. He is our new electronic storage detection canine, and we'll get all the details of his capabilities coming up in just a minute. Before I introduce our speakers, I do want to go through a few housekeeping notes. Please make sure you're muted. I can mute you, but I can't unmute you. So when we get to this section of question and answers, if you will just raise your hand, that option is on that. If you hover over the screen, you'll see the little hand option or more actions, and there's the raise your hand option. Raise your hand, unmute yourself, ask your question, and then mute yourself again if you can, just to preserve the audio quality, as I'm sure you're all aware in this new environment. If you do want to see someone full screen when the director's talking, when Derek is talking, if you'll again just go to that, hover over your screen, go to more options and pin. I'm sorry, if you right click on the person you want, pin it, and they will become full screen. You can also unpin in that same way. And if you would rather type in your question or you're having an issue, utilize the chat option. That is also where you'll be able to find some video that we have shot, B-roll of Zeus. There's a link there, and that goes to our YouTube channel. Our speakers today are TBI Director David Roush and Special Agent Derek Miller, who is Zeus's handler. I also want to make note that on the call, Assistant Director of our Technology and Innovation Division. Let me let our last person in here. Rich Littlehale, he's going to be with us, as is Special Agent in Charge Cesar Salazar and Assistant Special Agent in Charge Reeves Garnett. They'll be available to answer any questions when we get to that portion, but want to make sure that you know that they're on the line as well. Again, we'll hear from the director and from Derek, and we'll get to hear about everything that their unit does, and especially the new capabilities that Zeus brings us. With that said, I'll turn it over to Director Roush for a welcome and a few words. Director.
Thank you, Kelly. Hopefully everyone can hear me. All right, good. Well, thank you all for joining us this morning on this very different type of news release. And so hopefully everything goes well. We're excited to make today's announcement. Before I do that, I do want to mention to you about our Technology and Innovation Division. It is a newer division here at the TBI. Shortly after I was appointed to the position, I was presented an opportunity to do some changes, and one was with this specific area. So what we did was, when we had an opening, quite frankly, for the lead position, assistant director position over our technology. Before it was just an information technology division. My thought was we should take that information group and merge it with our investigative technology group, and really the opportunity to coordinate and connect those two groups to explode, quite frankly, the opportunities that we would have in moving forward with our efforts in the field and connecting our technology that we use every day to the technology that we use in the field for investigative purposes. And so we created what we now call our Technology and Innovation Division. We put Rich Littlehale as the assistant director. Rich is a nationally known, internationally known expert in the area of technology. And so we put Rich in charge, and it has been absolutely amazing. The work that they are doing, the connectivity that they have made with our basic infrastructure here at the TBI, working in conjunction and connecting with our technology efforts in the field. That kind of gives you a little background on technology innovation. So Zeus is the newest member of the TBI that has come in to that division. Zeus is a 2-year-old yellow Labrador Retriever. He was trained by Todd Jordan at Jordan Detection Canine in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's considered to be the premier trainer for electronic storage detection canines. Todd Jordan, just a little history on him, is best known for assisting in the raid at the home of the Subway spokesman, Jarrett Fogel, with his ESD canine bear. Zeus is trained to detect a chemical compound that is used on all electronic storage devices, from large hard drives to small micro SD cards. So Zeus was purchased with federal funding that's allocated through the Internet, the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force here in Tennessee. The task force helped us obtain the funding so that we could obtain Zeus, as well as the supplies, and train the handler, Special Agent Derek Miller, who you'll hear from here shortly. The ICAC task force is a national program. There are 61 different task forces in the 50 states. The Knoxville Police Department, of course, my previous agency, is the coordinating agency for the Tennessee Task Force. We're extremely grateful for the assistance of KPD throughout this process, that they have helped us and provided this funding for us. TBI will now cover Zeus's ongoing care, the costs for vet visits and food, and training, that ongoing training that Zeus and Derek will go through. When not utilizing his ESD capabilities, we're really excited about this part, is Zeus will also serve as a comfort companion to the TBI coworkers and other partner law enforcement officers, as well as for victims, and especially the children of these horrific crimes. And he will assist with stress diffusion. And so we're excited about that, because of the work that these our analysts and our officers and our agents do in this area is, as you can imagine, very traumatic. Seeing the images, dealing with that day in and day out, they have to have something to assist them, and we have things in place. But Zeus is going to add to that, really in a new manner, I think, in an exciting way. As you already heard Kelly, she's already experiencing the great things that Zeus provides in terms of de-stressing and comfort. And so we're excited about that piece as well. Zeus will also be available, of course, as the COVID restrictions allow, but to show off his skills to schools and civic groups. And so we're excited about educating the public in Zeus's ability as well. Zeus is the first ESD canine for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and only the second in the state of Tennessee. The Williamson County Sheriff's Office welcomed their ESD canine Remy in May of 2018. And so we're excited to have the second one in Tennessee, and the first one that will be utilized statewide, quite frankly. Zeus and Special Agent Miller are based out of our Jackson field office, but they will absolutely be used to assist in our searches across the state of Tennessee. And of course, I'm sure, as we do with all of our other resources, wherever we're needed, we will help. And so we're excited for this announcement, and we appreciate each of you being with us today, allowing us to share with you our excitement. So I will stop there, and I will pass back to Kelly.
Thank you, Director. Next up is Special Agent Derek Miller. He joined the TBI in 2014. He currently serves as a member of, as we mentioned, the Technology and Innovation Division. He is part of the Technical Services Unit. Basically, he works at some of the toughest cases that we see. His job is to protect the youngest and the most innocent victims in our state. And now he has Zeus as his sidekick. So Derek, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Kelly. She said, my name is Derek Miller. I'm a special agent assigned to TBI's Technical Services.
Derek, if you can hear us, you've been muted.
I apologize. Sorry for that. So I'll start over. My name is Derek Miller. I'm a special agent with TBI's Technical Services Unit, and I specialize in digital forensics. So our team is responsible for collecting and analyzing digital evidence that is associated with a crime. And part of that responsibility is also keeping up with technology and knowing what devices can be used to store different types of data. But as technology changes, the devices that you can store data on get smaller in size, and they've gotten larger in capacity. So the amount of data you can store on those devices has grown. And we're talking about devices, like the director said, hard drives in your computer. When you hit save on your computer, it saves your data to a hard drive. We're talking about cell phones, USB drives, which look something like this, and all the way down to something called a micro SD card, which is about the size of your fingernail. All of these can save data, and nowadays micro SD cards can save about the same amount of data as your computer, your home computer. So to put that into perspective, a small micro SD card that can fit on my thumb can save about 200,000 high resolution images. So, you know, it's paramount to our investigations that we find these cards. And in a child exploitation case, a micro SD card that has 200,000 images of child sexual abuse material, you know, if we don't find that card, we could be missing out on 2,000 counts of a crime that in the state of Tennessee is a Class B felony. So there's you know, it's paramount that we find all of these devices. But as you can imagine, you know, something this small that a perpetrator intends to hide could be easily done. And the human eye does have its limitations. So that's where Zeus comes in. Like Kelly and the director said, he is an electronic storage detection canine, and he can smell the odor that is given off by chemicals that are consistent and present on all electronic storage devices. So if you can store data on an electronic device, there are chemicals that are universal among those devices, and his nose is able to detect that odor. So the first question I always get is, okay, Derek, if Zeus is sitting next to you and you have two phones in your pocket, why is he asleep? Why is he not scratching at your pocket or doing whatever he does to let you know that those phones are there? How come he doesn't smell those? And my answer is that he probably does. But Zeus is smart, and he's a good boy, and he came with an on-off switch. So when it's off, like you see right now, he's not worried about the smells that he detects. But he has a way that we can switch him into work mode, and he knows now's go time. Now it's time to pick up on that odor and let my human handler know where it is. And so the way that I do that is we get geared up and we go to the room that we want to search, and I say, Zeus, let's go to work. And that's his on switch. So he knows now we're switching from playtime to work time. And then I'll tell Zeus, seek. And him and I will methodically go through a room. We cover everything from floor to ceiling, left to right, around the room. And he will pick up on the odor that is put off by the chemicals on the electronic storage devices. When he finds that odor present in the room, he will sit. That's what we call an alert. So he alerts me that the odor is nearby. And then he's even smarter than that. I'll say, Zeus, show me. And with his nose, he will pinpoint. He'll actually put his nose in the area that he believes the device is located. I'll then reward him for his efforts with food. So Zeus is a food reward dog. So when he works, he gets food as his reward. And that's how he gets his daily allotment of food. So every single day we have to work. So 2 to 3 times a day, I will go into rooms that mimic the environments that we normally work in, whether that be a bedroom, an office, a kitchen, a storage room, and I will hide electronic storage devices. Zeus will then go through that room and pick up on the odor and detect where those devices are and let me know. And then he's rewarded with his food. So that does 2 things. First, it gives him his food for the day. It keeps him healthy, keeps him strong. The other is that every single day, he's doing what we want him to do for the state. And so when we go out and work, there's nothing new, there's nothing stressful, there's nothing out of the ordinary for him. It's just another day at the office. When he's not working, as you can see, he's very laid back. He's a very calm dog. He is a huge people pleaser. He loves to have his head scratched. He loves to fetch. When we're at the office, as Kelly has already alluded to, he loves to wander around and look for that next head rub. And that's, you know, that's exactly what we wanted in him. We want those electronic storage detection abilities, but we also want that comfort aspect, as the director said. The crimes that we find ourselves working are some of the darkest aspects of society, and like it or not, it can take a toll on a person. And so having Zeus around really does genuinely provide a little bit of positivity in an otherwise sometimes negative environment. But more importantly, like the director said, Zeus can provide those same characteristics of his personality to victims of crime, especially children that get tangled up in some of the cases that we work. You know, oftentimes when we go out, it's early in the morning, and the perpetrators of the crimes that we investigated may have a large family, and those victims and bystanders are innocent. They can't help that they're tangled up in that. And it becomes oftentimes the worst day of those people's lives. And I hope that having Zeus nearby and just present and available in those circumstances can provide a little bit of positivity, a little bit of comfort in an otherwise extremely traumatic and dark time. And like the director said, he's going to be available to every law enforcement agency in the state. So we hope that, you know, we hope we're called to use him for every single one of those cases, because we owe it to the citizens of the state to use every tool and resource that we have. And I think Zeus is going to be a huge asset for us. And I can't wait to see, you know, how impactful he does in those two fronts.
Derek, thank you. If you have any questions for Derek, the director, any of the leadership of our technology and innovation division, go ahead and utilize the raise your hand option, and we will get to you. I'll call on you. Derek, you did so well. We don't have any questions yet. Oh, wait, let's see.
You got the one there.
I do see one. Yes, Angelique. If you could unmute yourself.
Yes. Hello.
Hi. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so this is really a question for anyone who might it apply to, but we are in Upper East Tennessee. I believe Zeus helped out with a Johnson City search warrant. Is that right? Last week. Would you be able to elaborate on that for us?
Derek, if you want to take that one.
Yeah, sure. So yes, we were in East Tennessee last week, and Zeus did assist. I can't really elaborate on what he did or the successes that he had, but yes, we did deploy on that investigation.
We can say that it was a successful deployment.
Correct.
Yes.
Anyone else? All right, I will just add a few more details, if you will. If anyone has a question, please go ahead and answer or raise your hand, or you can utilize the chat box, whichever is easier for you. But we do have B-roll video for our media partners. You can find that in the chat box, a link there, or you can go to our YouTube channel. It's TBI Media. We also plan to upload this news conference as well. If you had any problems recording, that should be there a little bit later on today. And I will send out a news release with a lot of the details that we discussed just in a few minutes through our normal channels, and you can find it on our website, TBINewsroom.com. Let's see, I think I have one other question that popped up. Nope, it looks like Angelique.
Yes.
Yeah, it's me again. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, go right ahead.
Yes, can we disclose how many investigations Zeus has been a part of as of this point?
Well, Zeus is a very new member. Zeus joined us, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Yeah, Zeus came back to work with me in Jackson in the middle of August, so this is just his third week in the office.
Yeah, and so yeah, during their training, Zeus obviously was utilized during training as well to assure that the training was taken, and so Zeus has been active,